Thank you for joining us for another episode, the season finale in the community safety. Let's take care of that. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in for the season finale of the community safety and security series here on the Serenity Resource Connector. Just found out what the challenge was. Whether you're tuning in live or you're watching the replay, it is a pleasure to have you here. If this is your first time tuning in, a warm welcome to you. You would have missed an entire series of discussion with the team at the Clarendon Division, along with other members serving in the Ministry of National Security in different areas, specialized areas. But for this final episode, we have a lot to go through to share with you. And so I'm going to invite on with me, no stranger to this Serenity Resource Connector space, DSP Owen Brown from the Clarendon Division CSSB unit. That's the Community Safety and Security branch there in Clarendon. DSP Brown, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is ours to be on with you. Good night
Awesome.
to all your viewers. Of course, we're happy to be on with you again.
Awesome. All right, so let's start with a little reflection on the series. We have been going for several months and we have gone through a number of areas. We started out with yourself, and at the time when we started out, we had Senior Superintendent Miller at the head of the Clarendon Division, but that's not the case now. So a lot has changed since then. What has been the general response from the team in the division since we started the series?
Of course, let me first, Mrs. Witter, say thanks to you and the team
Pleasure.
at Serenity Resource Connector for having allowed us this opportunity to serve. You've actually exposed us in ways beyond explanation. As a police force, there are a number of negative things that are being said, but sometimes we haven't gotten the opportunity to speak of some of the many positive things that are happening. And you have given us this opportunity. So tonight we're saying thanks to you for exposing us in such a way. The Clarendon Division, as you know, we went through change in our divisional command where uh, acting SSP Carlos Russell joined us going some 3-4 months now. Mr. Miller,
Oh,
who was our senior superintendent, has gone on to Area 3, where he's the acting assistant commissioner in charge of all three divisions, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and Clarendon. So we've had some changes there. Of course, the series started, and we looked at the the many of the things we have been doing. We looked at our police youth clubs. We looked at our neighborhood watch. Um, we had persons from the Jamaica Eye. We have been featuring some stations, and the reviews have been great. Our members are happy for the opportunity to share what they have been doing. The citizens who have watched also have expressed their gratitude for what the police have been doing. And of course, we are also thankful for the criticisms that we have gotten. They have allowed us to change our styles. And as our aim is to serve you the best way we know how. And of course, we listen to what our citizens say and we try our very best to adjust where possible. But we have benefited immensely from this exposure. And we hope that in the new year, we will have even more to say um, if we are so privileged to continue to work with you.
all right. Based on the responses that I've been getting from this side, it seems we need to continue.
Ah, that's
Right.
good. That's good.
Right. And it's really awesome that we have the team from the Police Civilian Oversight Authority that will be sharing based on what you just shared now in terms of what the citizens have been saying, because it's sometimes challenging to see the good when we are in the midst of the situation. But
Yes.
thank you so much for that review, DSP Brown. Indeed, the team has been doing a tremendous job, and the PCOA, in short, will share with us and the rest of Clarendon some of the awesome things that you have been doing, why it is that Clarendon Division topped Area 3 in customer service. Because you declared it last month when you were on, that you thought Clarendon Division was in a good stead
Yes.
to take it
Yes.
home, and indeed you
Yes.
did. But let's allow the PCOA team to share the great news with the viewers. All right, don't go anywhere. We will need you back on screen later on.
Sure.
All right. So that was DSP Owen Brown from the Community Safety and Security Branch, Clarendon Division, sharing their review with us. And joining me now is a team from the Police Civilian Oversight Authority, PCOA for short, in the persons of Andrew Beaumont, Senior Director, and Sheldon Clark, Legal Counsel. Welcome to the Serenity Resource Connector space, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us doing so.
All right, awesome. All right, I know some of the viewers might be wondering, what is this PCOA, Police Civilian Oversight Authority? I myself only learned about the group earlier this year. So, give us a little background on what the PCOA is all about.
All right. Thank you, Winsome, for the opportunity to share about this wonderful agency. I want to say good evening to you and to your viewers. So the PCOA was born out of the Act in the PCOA Act of 2005. We became operational in about May 2007 when we start employing staff. Some of the main functions of the PCOA, according to the Act, Section 4, talks about monitoring the implementation of policy of the force and its auxiliaries. To be putting it in short, we look at policies of the GSF and see how well they match up with international best practices. And can I tell you that the policies of the GSF do certainly match up to international best practices. We conduct inspections of the force and its auxiliaries. But what is also important when we talk about the Police Civilian Oversight Authority, the authority is made up of 7 members. And those 7 members it further details how those 7 members, their function. So one of those members ought to have some operational experience, maybe in the JCF or in the JDF. Another one should be an accountant. 2 members of the authority are to also be on the board of the Police Services Commission. Some of the powers of the authority, according to Section 4, make note that we can require the attendance of the commissioner or any officer of the force. We can summon them to our meetings. We can call and examine documents and records, and upon prior written authorization of the chairman, any employee can conduct an inspection of any facility of the JCF, just in short.
All right, awesome. All right, that's a great way to segue into the whole matter of inspection, because that's a big part of what the TOPS competition is all about, right? So tell us, what is TOPS and why
Okay.
TOPS?
Okay. So the TOPS is an acronym. Good evening, first of all.
Evening.
Thanks again for having us. So the TOPS competition, TOPS is an acronym for Transforming Our Police Service. So it began in 2019. The essence of the TOPS program is to essentially, encourage conformance of JCF members to their policies and standard operating procedures. It also helps to boost morale among the JCF members because, sometimes there may be in the public a bad rap on the police officers, but when we conduct the TOPS program, we try to motivate them to adhere to their policies and to recognize them. So there are 4 components to the TOPS program. The first component is the inspections. And we go to various stations within a particular geographical area. In this instance, this year, we were in Area 3, which comprises, as was said earlier by DSP Brown, the St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, and Manchester divisions. So all 34 stations, our team actually goes into these stations. We conduct inspections. We look, at their records management, how they maintain their station diary, for instance, their station administration. So things such as, are they doing inspections on their senior officers doing inspections on their own records? We look at the station facility, whether their barracks are in good order. We look at the customer service aspects, such as, something as simple as how they answer the phone when citizens call, which is guided or dictated by their public interaction policy. So those are 4 areas that we look at in general when conducting our inspections. So as a result of conducting the inspections, then we move to the second component, which would be the award ceremony, which was recently concluded on November 25. So based on the findings from our inspections and the standards that we have, then we would have winners for various categories that are recognized at this award ceremony. Thirdly, we have the performance review meeting, which will happen early next year. The purpose for this meeting is having celebrated the awardees, having conducted the inspections, celebrated the awardees. Now we hold them accountable to our findings, and we say, this is what we have found. There have been some gaps, and we now come to an agreement as to some level of improvement going forward. And so that is agreed upon. And then we do the 4th component, which is the reinspection. So if you said you're going to have 100% improvement, we will hold you to that when we do our reinspection and then produce the findings of same. So that in essence is the purpose of the TOPS program. And just to conclude by saying, if there is great motivation for the JCF members to follow these procedures, then there will be predictability by citizens who receive this service. And so that will, in essence, help to better the justice system, because then there is predictability in what is expected in the service provided by the JCF members to the public.
Sounds transformational to me, which means the name is suited. Transforming our police service.
Indeed.
Wow, what a time to be alive.
Yes, yes.
Yes, awesome. And so who were the winners for the different categories? Before we zoning on Clarendon, who are the winners overall for the different categories?
Okay, so the main category, the top station in Area 3, this winner is not only do they receive a trophy for bragging rights, but they also receive the sum of $100,000 in funds that is geared towards some improvement sort of project at the station. So the winner of this year's iteration of the TOPS competition was the Asia Police Station in the Manchester Division. Congrats again. Man, you should have seen the reaction of the station commander upon
Yes,
hearing.
I was watching
It
live.
was crazy. And that is why we do what we do. That's part of it. You know, you never get tired of it. But the top division was Clarendon. The top customer service division was Clarendon. the, the top station in St. Elizabeth was the Pedro Plains station. The top police in
Prisoner
custody
in custody.
station, prisoner in custody. Thank you. Prisoner in custody station was the Mandeville station, and the Dr. Marshall Hall Award for the most improved station or division in the re-inspection aspect was the Fletcher's Land Police Station in Area 4. So those were the winners. Congratulations again to all the winners.
And
Congratulations. And
and
now,
Rock
go ahead.
River, the number one station for Clarendon.
That's correct. That's correct.
We soon give Rock River their flowers. Right. But Clarendon won 2 of those awards, top division and top customer service. How did you arrive at that? How was that determined? Those areas determined, so we have a better understanding and appreciation of what the team really is doing in Clarendon.
Right. So when we talk about the top division, it means that we look at the policies and procedures and see how well the division have been upholding their own policy and procedures of the JCF. And I can tell you that Clarendon has done very well. Now, when we talk about policy and procedures, we talk about simple thing of, not simple, but for example, the CR10, when you go to make a report at a police station, you are given a receipt of that report. We check to see if when that report is written, are we able to cross-reference in the station diary, and are we able to see the full length of that report, so that when a citizen makes a report, they can easily go back and get a copy of that report, just to give you an example. In terms of prisoners in custody, we wanted to make sure that they were keeping prisoners in custody according to international best practices. So their own policies, again, they were tested on that. Now, my colleague highlighted the customer service aspect. We look at several areas in the customer service aspect. One, we look to see how well they had neighborhood watch programs, youth clubs. We did visits in the community, see if they were making their visits to local business places by checking the logbooks there. We had a team that went out and did surveys in the community to get the feel of what the citizens felt about the service they were receiving. And last but not least, we had what we would want to call a mystery shopper. And so we will have someone call the station, and we want to hear how the officers answer the phone. Now, there are 3 things that they ought to do. One, they must identify the station that is called. So if it's Rock River, hello, this is Rock River Police Station. 2, they must identify themselves. This is Rock River Police Station, Sergeant Smith speaking. And the last thing, how may I help you? And so we test to see if they had implemented that. Not only that, when the team visits the station, we want to see how well the officers were put together in their uniform and well kept. And can I tell you, it was just exciting to see the officers demonstrating a great level of this excitement as the team visited, and just to see their response was absolutely amazing.
Awesome. All right, go Team Clarendon. Right, all right. So Rock River topped the other 13 stations in the parish. What set them apart from all the 13 parishes to make them top station for the division?
Okay, as was suggested before, in terms of the various areas that we look at when we do inspections, essentially they were the ones that would have scored the highest, and in essence were in conformance with pretty much predominantly all of the areas that we would have looked at. I can personally speak to Rock River because I was one of the individuals conducting the inspection there for the last 2 years, not just for
Ah,
the tops competition. Yes, yes, and so I would have seen that a certain standard being maintained, and I can even say that I remember the first time I would have seen one the previous year, not for the tops competition. We do other kinds of inspections, and I would have seen a minute little, you know, glitch, and we pointed it out, and I came back looking to see for the improvement in that area, and there was no issue, no glitch, and I pointed it out to Sergeant Fairclough, and we commended the team. So they, in terms of their record management, was great. Station administration, in terms of having the divisional commanders come and do inspections of the station. Their facility was clean. They would have had their flags, all of those things. The customer service aspect was excellent. As Mr. Beaumont said, the mystery shopper calling, you heard all the three components that we were looking for. They just ticked all the boxes. And so there would be no other outcome but for them to top the other stations. So congrats again to Sergeant Fairclough and to the Rock River Station. They deserved it.
all right. All right. So before we zone in on Rock River, because they're in the spotlight this month as the featured station. Right. So what was the experience like conducting the inspection for this year for the competition?
Can I tell you the inspection process was very exciting. Matter of fact, I think it gets more exciting year after year after year. We started, as my colleague indicated, in 2019, and every year it gets more exciting. I think the best part for us is to see the motivation of the officers. You can see a different level of just how excited they are to even be recognized. And that for us is also a big motivator for us. I think it motivates both sides,
Both
both the
sides.
PCOA, it's the members as well as the staff, and it also the JCF. And so we are ready again to hit the road for next year. We should be going into Area 1, correct? Yes,
That's
we should
correct.
be
That's
going into
correct.
Area 1 next year, which will now include 4 parishes, which will be St. James, Trelawney, Hanover, and Westmoreland. And we are extremely excited about the whole process, and I hope you can feature us on that one as well.
If I
Although
could
it's not
just
Clarendon.
if I could piggyback on what Mr. Bobo just said and pick on Rock River a little bit, but also the reaction of Sergeant Fairclough at the event was also priceless,
Yeah.
because we try our best not to let them know when we're inviting them that they are going to be recognized. And so some of them come not knowing what to expect.
That's true.
And he was floored. He
Yes, he
couldn't
was.
he was not expecting, that, and he won. So,
Yes, he was.
it those reactions are priceless.
Yes.
Priceless.
Um, amazing, amazing. Because I've had to engage with, well, they don't refer to all of them as oversight authority, but it's pretty much the same concept, the regulators. And if all should adopt this approach in terms of the encouragement aspect of it, then Jamaica will be much better.
Agreed.
Because once you once whatever you're doing provides encouragement, then you have more buy-in, which is what I saw from the other side of the screen when those officers were realized that they're stationed. You'd think that it's a personal achievement because it was just so you could feel the energy from the other side of the screen, and that is priceless. And it makes your job easier because you want to continue, so you can keep on giving these good feeling.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Amazing. All right. So you have indicated who's next, and so West preparing, I'm sure, to determine who is gonna come out on top. And I'm sure that Clarendon, well, the work continues for Clarendon in terms of continued improvement. Final thoughts to the Clarendon team before we close this segment.
Well, I think in part you said it best, that the work continues. This is merely to recognize and to acknowledge that we see your work, notwithstanding the challenges, and so let this be a motivation to keep doing what you're doing, because we notice, we see, as our motto says, who will watch the watchers. So as you watch over us in terms of serving and protecting and being a force for good, we are watching and holding you accountable. And so we will identify when things are not right, but we will also celebrate when things are. So continue to do what you're doing and take what we have done thus far as a sign that we are with and for you. All that we do is to make the service that you provide better. So keep at it, don't drop the standard, and we will hold you to it.
Absolutely. Just to quickly add, I think Clarendon is off to an excellent start. They have an excellent commander. I have had the privilege of interacting with him on several different occasions. And so I have no doubt that the most improved station will be from Clarendon. Is that a prediction? For next year, God's willing.
All right. And I'm sure the team will be working towards that.
Absolutely.
Hearing me from that side?
Yes, we're hearing. We're hearing.
All right, great. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure sharing virtual space here with you, and I'm sure this will not be the last, because I see some great things that are happening, and I love the dynamics of what the PCOA is doing. And this is really a good model for the other entities to adopt, to encourage improved performance, right? And what better way to do it than to recognize and guide as you go along, because throughout the process you provide guidance even after, to ensure that the improvements are taking place, which is beautiful. Kudos to the entire team at the Police Civilian Oversight Authority, and we look forward to even greater things going forward. All right.
Thank you very much for having us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pleasure. All right. All right. And now it's time for our featured police station for this episode. None other than Rock River Police Station, the top station in the Clarendon Division. Welcome, Sergeant Fairclough.
Good evening, and good evening to the virtual platform.
Evening. All right, great. So, well, I saw the reaction. I don't know how many others were watching when the announcement was made, and I think your excitement, was enough for the entire team over there in Rock River.
Yes, definitely. It was a big surprise.
Awesome. Great. That's what happens when you are committed to what it is that you do. And I could see it from the competition, the results, that you all are committed to improving, and teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Right.
All right. But what has been the impact on team morale since receiving that award?
Firstly, the morale at the Rockrock Police Station is high. Everyone is elated, in that achievement, right? And it goes to show that hard work, you know, it never goes unnoticed. Yeah. Winning that award is definitely teamwork, right? And it shows that quote unquote, there's no I in team, you
That's
know.
right.
Yeah, right. We are upbeat. The moral is we are upbeat, motivated, and we are buzzing in confidence, right? And when we are buzzing in confidence, it just make our work much more easier,
That's right.
right? Yes, and we feel deep satisfaction, you know, that drive us to serve our community more, right? Um, Definitely, I am proud of the team, and not only me, but the hierarchy at the division. They are proud of the team. One of the reason when we attend this meeting, they disseminate certain information, and we pass it on to subordinates. And basically, what we are saying is, they are saying, we need to keep like certain interventions, social interventions. You know, um, you can keep a formal meeting,
Right.
right? You can keep like meeting with certain groups like senior citizens, you know, um, even the person at the corner, you
Yes.
can stop and play domino with them, in it what it does, it make you know your space, and it helps to develop your policing skills.
Indeed. And that's a great way to segue to the community's response. What has the citizens' response been like in the different communities that you serve?
All right. Since we won this award, I am humbled, I am honored, you know, um, that the community, the reception that I've getting from the community members, the general feedback from the community is a positive one, you know. Um, the partnership between the police and citizens basically a work in progress, right? And this award will definitely be what would I say, the catalyst in strengthening this relationship.
In, indeed. And just
And,
tell
and
me,
you know,
I
and you
trust that
know,
you have good connection around there in Rock River where you can show this the even the award segment of receiving the awards at the ceremony, so the citizens when they come in they can see and they can be a part of and see what exactly is happening. Even this program, you want to make sure that they're aware of it so that
definitely,
they can hear not just from you
right,
but realize that hey, Rock River is a big deal.
right, right. And Madam Ose, we do have a community group.
Yes.
When we received that award, we went back to the group and we showed them the plaque,
Awesome.
basket, and a little notation, what it's all about, So we do have a good relationship with the community,
Beautiful. Right. So what tips do you have for your colleagues in the other 13 stations? Because I mean, we want to
So
make sure that everyone is up there.
right.
Yeah.
So the most important tips, I have for other station commanders, is just continue, to show the dedication towards the job, continue to motivate the subordinates, because whenever demotivated subordinates, it's a negative correlation with the mantra of the JCF, and helping to achieve organization goal, you know. Continue to carry out these social interventions, you know, they will help you to do effective policing and to best able to serve and protect the communities we serve.
Love that. All right. So, your final thoughts going into the holiday season to your team and the citizens over there in Rock River and surrounding communities?
You know, I smiled because if I was sitting and inspector exam, you know, this question was asked, I would have said, boy, I'm a pass. Because on returning from that award ceremony, I did show my appreciation, you know, to the members as also to the citizens. But I want to thank my team members, you know, for the hard work and dedication, you know, in serving the community. You know, this make the Rock River police station being the great station that it is, you know, and indeed it is a privilege to be a part of such elite team, right? To the citizens of Rock River, it's an honor to have you as our customer, you know. I can say that the bar has been risen and we want to even go higher. And to go higher, we'll be providing like quality service and continued involvement with other stakeholders. Let us conclude 2022 on the said trajectory and welcome 2023 on a higher level. Thanks.
Well said. And at this point, let me just share. It's very interesting that we featured Chapelton last month and we're featuring Rock River this month.
That's my
And Rock
neighbor.
River being the yes, the top station because my paternal grandparents actually are from Coxsone.
Okay.
Yes. So that would be their those two would be their stations, right?
Definitely.
All right. So thank you so much, Sergeant Fairclough.
Indeed.
Awesome job to you and the team, and just continue to do what you do best to serve and protect. And let me leave with you what Uncle Wayne G from Adoration Gospel in Clarendon is saying, blessing everyone. We pray for coverage for our police officers and their families, the citizens of Clarendon, and the communities in the country. And Uncle Wayne G is the owner and operator of Central. I usually get the number wrong. Central FM. Let me just keep it as Central FM, community radio station over there in Clarendon. Thank you for tuning in, Uncle Wayne G. All right. And Cecilia, bigging up the Clarendon team. And I'm sure you're familiar with this name, Maureen Gordon, cheering on her team, Clarendon. All right. Thanks again, Sergeant Fairclough. All the best as you continue to serve and protect.
Thank you.
All right. So we have heard from the top station. All right. Thank you, Central 96.3 FM, Jamaica. That's in Clarendon, serving all of Clarendon, the borders of St. Anne, St. Catherine, and I'm almost sure Manchester as well. All right. Thanks for that. DSP Brown, let's have you back on because we have heard from the station. Now we want to hear from the division. What's the division's response in terms of where morale is at for the team across the division, top customer service? What's going on since receiving those awards?
Of course, we are very elated. Let me at this point pause to congratulate Sergeant Fairclough and his team over there at Rock River. A very good sergeant, a very good job. It is the intent of the divisional commander that the station serve the persons in their space. And so we do use opportunities to ensure that our officers are in top shape, so to speak. We are our bi-weekly tasking meetings. We usually bring all the information to them, and then it is expected that when they get back into their space, that information is shared with them, that the station documents that they are up to date, all the records are kept up to date, all uh, the 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 instructions from the commissioner from the headquarters in Kingston, that those instructions are adhered to. There are also sanctions when such instructions are not carried out. The team here in Clarendon, we are very elated. We are upbeat. Our last tasking meeting was a celebratory one, as the medals were brought and they were shown, and it was just applause all over the place because the people are happy that we're recognized. I want to use this opportunity also to greet the other members, the Mr. Bowman and Mr. Clark from the PCOA, and we want to thank them too for the transparency, the clarity with which they have done their work. And we do take the criticisms when they come, because it's so we will grow. But the division has been doing well, and we really want to use this juncture to congratulate the men and women who continue to serve, the various station commanders, the section commanders, and all those who are doing their part to ensure that the division runs well, that the commander's intent is carried out.
Awesome. All right. And Sheena Granderson is sharing. Congrats to Rock River. She was born in Rock River. Okay, I'm learning something new after all these years, Lady Granderson. And I'm involved with the Rock River Foundation, which is doing a fantastic job also. Amazing. Good sharing there. All right, great. And I must share that not only the calls coming in, because I've encountered a couple of the officers who, through their routine checks, stopped me a couple of times in Maypen. And I was rather impressed because they identify themselves. So you didn't have to ask for a name. They gave it the name and were very courteous. And some of the younger officers too. And I think that's really commendable. So the culture is changing and I'm loving it. And I'm sure the other Clarendonians are loving it as well. And so when you encounter anything outside of the norm, DSP Brown, what should
Of
we
course,
do?
we're expecting that if our officers at any point display any form of unprofessional conduct, that note is made. You know, every officer wears a regulation number, or they are in a unit that is marked. So you should make note, and you come and make a formal report that Officer X acted unprofessionally, and Officer X knows that the necessary steps are going to be taken, and depends on the nature of the conduct of the officer, may very well be dismissed. And so this is what we continue to say to our officers: we're serving the people, and we must at every point be courteous. We have the police public interaction policy that governs that how it is that we deal with the citizens. For everything we do, there's a policy that guides, and each time that an officer goes out on duty, they are briefed, and so they know that they must operate in accordance with the policies of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We have always been using the mantra, especially since the installation of our new commissioner, uh, uh, Mr. Anderson, Jamaica Constabulary Force, a force for good. And if we're going to be continuing to do that, then it must be that we serve the citizens and serve them with diligence, that we serve them with professionalism. So anywhere it happens where officers have acted outside of that, then please let us know. The necessary actions will be taken.
All right. Now we know. All right. So what can we expect going forward in terms of improvement as Clarendon goes after the most improved, that trophy?
Yes, of course, we do take our criticisms too, because we do understand that we're accountable. So agencies like the PCOA, Indicom, we have an established organization where there's an hierarchy. So we are accountable for what we do. In cases when we are inspected, when we are monitored, and we come up short, we do take our criticisms seriously, and so we try our very best to change, to alter, to make sure that next time when we are inspected, that things are going to be different. And so that's one of the things we do. We take our criticism seriously, and we make amends.
Awesome. Right. And is there any other way the citizens can assist in ensuring that Clarendon see more in terms of transformation of police service?
I want to use this juncture, Mrs. Witter, to make mention of our stakeholders, our key stakeholders, because we are not a standalone organization. We do have some persons that help to make our jobs even more effective, whether it's governmental or non-governmental. I could name a few: the SDC, the parish council, the business, the Chamber of Commerce. You're a part of. The other youth groups, all the community groups that have been so supportive in what we do through our community meetings, through all our interventions. These groups have been. This is where most of the criticisms have come, and it's from these that we have learned how to do better. It's through these commendations that we learned that yes, this was well done, so we'll use it as best practice. So of course, the agencies, the groups, they are a part of us. They have helped us to do what we do, and we will continue to work with you as we serve you to make Jamaica the best place to live.
Awesome. All right. We're going to take a little break before we continue to hear from a message, holiday message from
My dear fellow Clarendonians, this season, as we reflect on the true meaning of Christmas, which is the celebration of the birth of Jesus, there is much to give thanks for, having survived the limitations of a devastating pandemic over the past 2.5 years. We are thankful that God has given us the strength to be resilient, to overcome, even though we are truly saddened by the reality that some have unfortunately passed on due to the pandemic. Despite the social issues we face daily, we are motivated by the hard-working Clarendonians who are still achieving and who serve as a reminder that the good values we hold dear unify us and go beyond space, time, and even the limitations of a pandemic. Our faith, family, and community spirit goes to demonstrate that the good that unites us far exceeds the bad that divides us. And we are truly grateful for that. When we reflect on this year, we see the tremendous courage, character, and resilience of our citizens. With citizens watching out for one another and the help of security forces, you demonstrate that there is much to be gained through collaboration and partnership. We at National Self-Serve Wholesale are grateful to all our customers, visitors, staff, well-wishers, and family that supported us over the years. We are most grateful to the security forces who tirelessly go beyond the call of duty to keep us safe, especially in these troubled times. To all members of the Clarendon community, business persons, especially all the members of the Clarendon Business Watch, we take this opportunity to wish you all a happy and safe Christmas and a wonderful and productive year 2023.
Right. That was Stephen Leo of National Self-Serve Wholesale, Serenity Resource Connector Program Partner. He's been with us from the beginning of this program. I want to thank Stephen Leo and the National
And
Association of
and
Wholesale.
president of the Clarendon Business Watch.
That.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
for making all these episodes possible, right? And he's not only the program partner for Serenity Resource Connector, he is an active part of the Chamber of Commerce community and recently selected as the president for the Clarendon Business Watch. Great job, Steve.
Right.
Awesome job.
Right. Excellent.
Right.
Excellent.
Yes. And this is another big deal for Clarendon.
It is. It is.
Right. It is a big deal for Clarendon because we've heard and right across the island in terms of the Chinese business community and their involvement or lack thereof of involvement, but we can say that things are changing in Clarendon as it relates to that. And we are commending Stephen Leo and the other Chinese nationals in Maypen, Clarendon by extension, who have been playing their part, albeit maybe not on camera for most of them, but they have been providing their support in terms of giving back to the community. A group of Chinese were actively involved in purchasing and donating some wheelchairs earlier this year to the Maypen Hospital. So commendations to the business community as we continue on this journey together. All right. So let's continue with the discussion. It's time now for holiday safety tips. Take it away, DSP Brown.
Okay, so I want to use this opportunity, as I'm certain will not be in this kind of gathering again before the Christmas comes on. So I want to wish for all the members of the Clarendon communities a very merry and productive Christmas. It's a time of year when we really celebrate the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. It's also a time of year that is filled with festivity when people are out in the streets much more than they normally would have. I want to encourage you that as you enjoy yourselves, as you go shopping, that you be very careful. We encourage you not to carry large sums of cash on you. Try, if you don't have to, don't carry any cash at all. Use your cards to do your transactions. But if you have to carry cash, then let it be as minimal as possible. There are some persons who do large transactions and may choose to do so with cash. Whilst we discourage you doing that, if you have to, then we encourage you to come to the station where you are in a safe spot to do such transaction. If you have to, also, because you know that there are some persons who are doing constructions and so they have to go pay their workers, just give us a call, free of cost. We will assist you. One less robbery is good for us. We don't mind not hearing that nobody is robbed. So we're hoping that you're taking this one very seriously. We have seen where persons have gone to the bank to withdraw cash. They have left it in their cars, go to do business elsewhere, and before you know, every cent is stolen. The car window is broken, and this monies are gone. We want to prevent that. We have also advised persons doing construction, and I'm on construction because this is where a lot of the large cash transaction takes place, that you encourage your workers to take out an account and that they use their cards. So you send the money electronically to their account instead of having to carry the live cash to distribute on the sites. We encourage people to, it's a time of year when you want to buy new appliances. Please, that large 60-inch smart TV, when you do purchase it, don't just take the package and put it at the front of your yard for the garbage collector to pick up, because you're actually saying to somebody that, hey, I've just bought a inch smart TV. So you've given the would-be robbers an idea that there's something worthwhile breaking into your place for. Um, Discard of the box more discreetly. You can tear it up. If it's safe to do so without hindering your neighbor, then you can burn it. But you can tear it up, put it in a bag, and then have it thrown into the bin. For persons um, who love to wear jewelry, and you come to especially in the Mapen Town space, as we've often said, that jewelry can give you, especially gold, can give you cash as fast as a card, a machine, as fast as a ATM card. And there are persons who will exchange your gold for cash. So we ask that you don't have to wear them in the town of Mapen. Be very discreet. Those who carry expensive cell phone too, there's no need for you to take out that phone in the midst of the town to make that call or to send that message. Whilst you are enjoying your phone for what it's worth, there's somebody else who will want to take it from you because they recognize the value that is in it. So make yourself at all times harder target. You're driving on the road in your car, roll all windows up. Roll all windows up. Some persons are driving and the back windows are down. You're in the traffic, you're not really paying attention to what's happening before you. So you're driving, you're on the cell phone, the windows are rolled down, your laptops are on the back seat, other expensive items are on the back seat. It's easy for someone to just stretch in and take up your valuables and you won't see it again. If you have to lock that car up, don't leave the laptop, don't leave the expensive gadgets on the seat, but put them in the trunk. Put them in the trunk and lock them away. At all times, you want to make it more. Don't allow them to see that it's something worth breaking into your car for. If you put them in the trunk, then no one else will be able to see them. The list goes on and on and on, but I'm certain that we will talk some more. I'm looking at the time, and I'll have to be very mindful of that. But I want to say to you that we want you to enjoy your Christmas. Of course, you will see more police officers in this space as we reduce on our office involvement, and then our officers will be sent in the space. So you'll see us out in our numbers. There are some changes also that will be made into the town of Mapen, but we're having more discussions with the municipal council. You'll hear some more on that. But as you have come to expect, that Christmas, especially in the town of Mapen, is a very busy time. We're mindful also of the other townships, the Lionel Town, the Chapelton, the Frankfield, the Kellits, very busy spaces. But our officers will be out in their numbers to ensure that at least you can go about your business in an environment that is safe. I'm not hearing you, Mrs. Switter.
Okay. A number of tips are being shared on the JSafe platform, so we continue to share those within our different groups, so others are made aware of the things that you are to look out for, additional safety tips. All right. Thank you so much, DSP Brown and the team there in Clarendon for making this happen every month. Second Thursdays of each month, community safety and security. It has been a pleasure hosting this series, and we are calling it a wrap for 2022, but not a wrap for the community safety and security program, as we continue to share in this space for all to be aware of what's happening and what to expect from our police force and how we can help them to serve us better. All right. So thank you all for tuning in, whether you joined live or you're watching the replay. And be sure to join us for the season finale of the year in early childhood development. Next Thursday, that's the third Thursday in December, as we have the executive director from the Early Childhood Commission and her team sharing with us a review of what was in the year of early childhood development. Very important part of, even in terms of ensuring that the job of the police gets easier if we're able to get these young children to understand how to operate as responsible citizens. All right, so look forward to sharing virtual space with the team at Early Childhood Commission next Thursday, and looking forward to sharing space again with the team at the Clarendon Police Division and others in 2023, God's willing. Thank you all again. Continue to stay safe. Have a great night.